Hey guys, so in this video we'll take a look at all the new changes coming up in the pre-patch of Shadowlands, including some of the rewards that you'll be able to get. Now I don't want this video to be like 20 minutes long, so I promise to keep it short and simple and highlight what I think are some of the more important things to highlight and avoid minor things like the new quick keybind mode. But without further ado, let's jump right into it, starting with the overhaul to the customization options. So guys, can you believe it? Blizzard finally decided to update the character customization options. Now we're talking class animations on the character creation screen and the overhaul to the UI itself. I mean, it goes without saying, but it's definitely one of the major changes in the pre-patch. You'll be able to choose between a bunch of new skin colors, hairstyles, eye colors, the 2 options, and the list goes on and on. Oh, and you can even use the barber shop to switch between the different options. Now speaking of the barber shop, as a brand new addition you will even be able to change the genders of your characters there as well. And if you happen to be a druid, you'll be able to customize your druid forms at the barber shop as well. So all in all, I must say they did good with these new changes. And remember, if you want to see all of these new options, feel free to check them out on my channel or download the PTR client and check them out for yourself. But anyways, let's move on to the level revamp. So another huge change that is happening during the pre-patch is the level squish. So one of the first things that you will notice on the character selection screen is that all of your level 120 characters will be squished down to 50 instead, because the new level cap in Battle for Azeroth will be 50 until Shadowlands, where it will then be increased to 60. Along with the level squish, your stats, item level, health, well, pretty much everything you can think of will be squished down as well. Now the next big feature that you'll be able to check out during the pre-patch is Exile's Reach. This is basically the new player experience between level 1 and 10, where you can learn how to play the game if you're new to WoW. And they've done it in a pretty unique way. For example, hunters will learn how to tame and stable their pets. Paladins will encounter a ghost of a former paladin who will teach them how to use Divine Shield. And they will even make you do a dungeon at the end of this player experience, which is a good way of introducing new players to dungeons. Now if you aren't new to the game and you don't feel like doing Exile's Reach, then go ahead and skip it. Just choose one of the all starting zones instead. Now since Blizzard are revamping how the whole leveling is gonna work in Shadowlands, we have Chromie back once again. But again, I must mention that this does not apply to new players. New players will be forced to level in Battle for Azeroth and experience the full story before moving on to Shadowlands. So yeah, as long as you are not a new player, you'll be able to choose any of the 7 expansions to level in between level 10 to 50. Now as for the allied races, they will start their journey at level 10, and Death Knights and Demon Hunters will begin their journey at level 8 and play through their own starting experience as well. But anyways, let's move on and talk a little bit about the allied races. The next big thing that they're changing is that you won't need to grind reputations to unlock the allied races. You will simply need to complete one of the achievements that is required. So for example, if you want to unlock the Kultiran humans, you need to unlock 2 achievements called A Nation United and Tides of Vengeance, which means that you don't have to be exalted with Proudmoore and Morality anymore. And the same goes for the rest of the allied races. So luckily, unlocking the allied races won't be as tedious as it used to. The next change taking place during the pre-patch are all of the Shadowlands class changes. Now you will finally be able to play around with all of the unpruned spells, the new talents and so on. So if you want to test out the new priest changes or the revamp to the Mage Ignite, you can do all of that during the pre-patch. But anyways, let's move on and talk a little bit about the corruption. So one of the biggest changes gotta be the complete removal of corruption, and since we've taken down Azad himself, it's time to move on to the Shadowlands and experience a brand new expansion. I know some of you probably love the corruption items because they are so overpowered, but once you log on to the pre-patch, all of that borrowed power will be gone. So guys, make sure to enjoy it while you can. But anyways, let's talk about the main event of the pre-patch, so if you don't want any spoilers, now is a good time to stop the video. So what is the pre-patch event all about this time? Well, the Scourge has been let loose upon Azeroth once again, and if you played back in vanilla or the pre-patch of Wrath of the Lich King, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But for those of you who haven't, the Scourge has been let loose upon Azeroth because of Sylvanas, who as you might know broke the Helm of Domination. And now it starts to come together and make sense why we were told there always must be a Lich King. But yeah, basically every few hours zombie NPCs will spawn around the world and try to infect players. Now if you get infected, you will get new abilities that you can use to infect other players, guards, or whoever you want to infect. So if you have a grudge against one of your friends, now is definitely the time to take that revenge. But jokes aside, as with every pre-patch, there will also be a small quest chain that will lead us into Shadowlands. And this time around, we will travel to Icecrown and help the Argent Crusade fight off the Scourge. By completing the quest chain, you will unlock dailies that you can complete to get Argent commendations, and you can use this new currency to buy eye level 100 gear, which is basically the same eye level loot as normal Nihilota. Now the appearance of this gear is from Battle for Azeroth, just with a slightly different color. However, if you are a completionist, you should definitely make sure to get it, because they are probably gonna remove it for good. So yeah guys, this will be a pretty good way to catch up with some of your alts or even your main. Now if you're in a rush, you can even turn in Scourge Stones and get even more commendations, and this is something you can do 24/7 by killing the Scourge in Icecrown. Now there is even a third way of getting gear. Every 20 minutes or so, a boss from one of the old dungeons or raids from Wrath of the Lich King will show up on your map, and these rares have a chance to drop the old rat gear, but upscale to eye level 100 instead. They even have a chance to drop a higher tier of Scourge Stones that you then can turn in for even more Argent commendations. The fourth and final way that you can get some gear is by killing Nanto's Blightcaller, who will be the new world boss in Eastern Plaguelands. So yeah guys, that's pretty much all the different acquisition methods that you can get the gear from. Now, one of the things that I'm a bit sad about is that we're not getting any exclusive mounts for the pre-patch, similar to the pre-patch of Battle for Azeroth, or maybe they're gonna surprise us. Now, a good mount that they could use would be one of the 2 undead drakes that were never used back in Wrath of the Lich King. But yeah guys, that was everything I had for you today. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.